Coming out of the Scarlet and Violet era and moving into the Mega Evolution era, there's no doubt that we are seeing some of the best Pokemon card artworks we've ever seen, hands down. But what if I told you that there are some really great artworks, possibly some of the best, coming from some Chinese exclusive cards that you may or may not have even heard of? I'm going to show you guys everything and where to get them, how much they cost, what boxes they come in, and all of that. We're going to break that down. But first, we have to start off with one of the best cards, probably my favorite, is this Pikachu card. And you can see he is running and hiding from a Gengar in the forest. It is super adorable. I do feel bad for him. He looks so scared. You got Gengar behind him. There's a Parasect chilling in the background, and Ekans up here, and a Moon. And this actually comes from the Chinese 151 set. Now, we covered this card when it came out, and we haven't touched on it in a minute. So let me know before you go any further. Put a guess down below in the comments. How expensive do you think this card is? Because it's a very cool card. You'd think it might be a little bit expensive. It's an art rare, but you may not know exactly how expensive this is, because this is an absolutely stunning card. But the market is going crazy for this card. Currently, raw near mint copies are going for around $1,800 on eBay. Here are some of the last solds. Some below 1,800, some as low as 1,500, some as high as 2,400, 2,600. So people are going crazy for this card. And I mean, I see why. It's a very, very cool, very unique card coming from a Chinese exclusive 151 set. So it is a top tier card, and there's more Pikachu cards that we're going to be seeing. But what may shock you and what shocked me was currently what we're seeing for PSA 10 prices. Currently around between $6,000 and $8,000 depending, for a PSA 10 is what we currently have been seeing. I would assume that these prices would come down the more that get graded, but currently that's what we're seeing at the moment. Absolutely wild, but nevertheless, a really great top tier art. And I do like this card a lot. Definitely probably my favorite on this list. But we do have another Pikachu card that this one is just more cutesy. It's kind of the same art style, but it's cutesy with the Psyduck like sleeping here. And I love the Pokemon that they've included in the background. You have a Jigglypuff back here on like a stump or a rock. I can't tell if it's a rock. And a Dragonite flying in the background. It's just a top tier art card in my opinion. It just really hits me right in the nostalgic feels. And this also is in the 151 set right here. This one being very, very expensive, but a little bit more affordable comparatively. You can see now this card has come down a little bit. It peaked at around $740 in June and July, and now it's come down just a little bit to $696. But you will see that sales for a raw near mint copy on eBay are kind of all over the place. Recently as high as $777 or as low as $498. 500, 600, 700. So sales are varying, but these are confirmed eBay sales here. And then PSA 10 copies, still very expensive, but much more affordable than the one with the Gengar. Currently around $2,500 in a PSA 10. Now they were as high, closer to $3,000 back in May. So still very expensive. People are definitely chasing these really unique arts that are only coming out in the Chinese market, which is like kind of cool, but kind of sad, because I wish that we would get some more I wish we would get English exclusives that were cool like this. But either way, it's still cool to see, and I definitely appreciate it. And it adds some collectability to the Chinese market, and they're really trying to build that. They're still playing catch up as far as like getting the Chinese market caught up with like where we're at. And I think they're getting close to being caught up. They've been like cramming multiple sets into one, and that's kind of what we've been seeing. But this is what they've done with their 151. Here's another great Pikachu card right here. You got a Mew in the background, you got a Pidgey and Oddish, same art style. I believe these are all the same artist, if I'm not mistaken, but just another top tier card. Really great, really stunning. I love these cards. They're a little bit too expensive for me currently. I don't own any of these. I would love to add some of these to my collection, but currently I just can't justify right here $400 to $500 for a raw near mint copy of this. It's just not in the cards for me currently. Maybe someday, albeit maybe someday by the time I'm willing to spend $400 or $500 for this card, it's probably going to be more expensive with my luck. But that's what we've been seeing as far as the simplified Chinese cards. Here are some of the last solds, which you can see they really do fluctuate when it comes to near mint copies on eBay. 930, 650, 460, 620, 915. So they're kind of all over the place. So just keep in mind that prices may vary, and you're gonna have to hunt around a little bit. Make sure if you're gonna be purchasing at these prices, make sure you're getting a clean copy, asking for extra pictures on eBay and all that good stuff. PSA 10s for this card, definitely much more affordable, just over $1,000, 1175, 1225. That's what we've been seeing the past few months. So much more affordable when it comes to PSA 10 pricing on this Pikachu. But 3 Pikachus out the gate. These are all Pikachus, just for reference, number 170, 171 here with the Psyduck, and the Gengar is number 172. So if you want to look those up, that's what they are: Pikachu 172, 71, and 70. Now, before we go any further, real quick, if you guys want to have a chance to win free Pokemon cards, make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications on. There'll be a video that will pop up at the end. I'll put it on the end screen, or I'll put it in the pinned comment. If you guys want to, all you have to do is comment on that video, and you must be subscribed to the channel as well. And as we approach 20K subscribers, once we hit 20K, I'll announce all the winners. We'll pull through the comments. We'll pull the winners out. We're giving away booster boxes, tons of good stuff. Check out the video for more information. I won't drag this on too long, but make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications on, because I do post daily. So you guys can stay up to date with your Pokemon card content without having to do any of the research. You can just watch my videos or listen to them. Now, moving on to Pikachu, obviously dominating this list so far. And if you haven't seen the new anime, you might be wondering who this Pikachu is and who this guy is, and you might be a little bit lost, which is okay. But you should check out the new anime. It's on Netflix, so if you want to check it out, it is available there. But this is Captain Pikachu, and after watching the show, I'm a big fan of Captain Pikachu. So this is another one this comes from the Chinese Gem Pack. Now there's a Chinese Gem Pack and then a Gem Pack 2. We'll talk about that, and I'll show you guys the booster boxes and everything, and pricing and where to get them and all that stuff. But currently we're just looking at the cards. So this comes from the Chinese Gem Pack, and obviously it's a cool card when you have the Captain Pikachu right here with the hat on. So super cool. This card has been out for a while, and it's been going up in price. In April, we saw it around $91, $95 in May, $114 in June, and then started shooting up more recently. Currently, average price around $324 for a raw near mint copy. And here's some of the last solds, which does indicate that some in the 200s, some as high as the 400s, and then kind of in that lower to mid $300 range. Is currently what we're seeing for raw near mint copies. And then PSA 10s, if that is more of your boat there, $800 is currently what you can expect to pay for a PSA 10 version of these cards. I don't know what the pop reports are on any of these Chinese gem rate cards. I do know that a lot of these are all like art rare style or illustration rare style, so they may be prone to being tough to grade. I don't know. I haven't seen any of these in person. If you guys own any of these cards, let me know in the comments like how you feel about the print quality. I also don't know that much about the simplified Chinese card print quality in general. So either, because obviously we know that like Japanese cards, very like you can expect high gem rates, very nice cards. They pop, they shine. They're usually much better than English. So I don't know where the Chinese cards fit in with that. So that is something that we'll have to keep an eye on moving forward. So, and see how that kind of affects the PSA 10 pricing and stuff like that. But Chinese Gem Pack, Captain Pikachu, there's more coming from this one, but real quick, we're going to jump over to Pokemon Chinese Gem Pack number 2. And this is one that we talked about more recently. There's some really great Eevee cards and Eeveelutions. A little bit different style. This is more of like the cutesy style. But you have your Sleeping Umbreon. I do like these cards as well. Just nice art, super adorable. Sleeping Umbreon. Currently, now this card has come down a little bit. In July, it was around 246. Now we're seeing around 209 raw near mint. Here's some of the last solds. Looks more like 220-ish more recently to me, which would be a little bit above what they're saying right here. So that's what you kind of can expect to pay. PSA 10s around 1,500, just for reference there. Now, here we're jumping back. So this is the Bubble Mew, but this is a simplified Chinese version, and this one actually came out in their 151 set. This is what they included. So this is something cool that they've been doing as they catch up. They can put like different cards from different sets, and they've been like mushing them all in. So if you've been wanting to pick up the Bubble Mew at an affordable price and you just want the art and you don't really care about the language, maybe consider picking up a simplified Chinese copy. These currently, you can see last sold all under $100 on eBay right here, 85, 91, 92, 69, 76. So this one isn't a new artwork or Chinese exclusive, but I just wanted to mention that this card is available for those who want the Bubble Mew but don't want to pay the Bubble Mew prices, because both English and Japanese much more expensive right now. So just consider the simplified Chinese if you want to check it out. It is number 191 from the 151 set. So you can probably just type in Chinese Bubble Mew. I'm sure it'll come up. But anyways, that's what we're looking at there. So Bubble Mew fans, maybe rejoice if you want an affordable copy. Check that out. And then we're going back to the original gem pack. Once again, this is directly tied into the anime. So if you don't like the anime or haven't seen it, this card in particular isn't going to really do anything for you, but you have Sprigatito and Liko, who is the main character in the new anime. If you haven't seen it, it's not as good as the original for me, but I still like it. I've been enjoying it. So, check out Pokemon Horizons. It's on Netflix. But yeah, so this is cool after watching the anime, right? I do appreciate these cards more. Now, this one much more affordable than the Captain Pikachu, coming from that same set. Currently raw near mint around $30. Plus or minus. Here's the last solds. Looks like some in the 20s, more in like the lower to mid $30 range for a raw near mint copy. And then if you want to play a PSA 10 game, definitely expensive, but more affordable, around $200, give or take. So you could pick up a PSA 10 copy for an affordable price there. So, and this is another nice Chinese exclusive. And then we're going to go back to gem pack number 2 with the Eeveelutions with the Sylveon. Same art style, just beautiful, cutesy, colorful, great for all of the Eeveelution fans. I'm sure that anyone hardcore into the Eeveelutions goes crazy for these cards. Currently, this one's not that expensive for a really nice Sylveon card. $65 right now currently, give or take. Maybe you can get it down into the 50s, like some of these people have gotten on eBay. So check that out. Sylveon number 915. The numbers are kind of weird on some of these. 0915 out of 15. So anyways, that's what we're seeing as far as the numbering goes. It's a little weird, but man, compared to like what we're seeing with Prismatic Evolutions, compared to what we're seeing with some of the Sword and Shield era stuff, this is a great looking card, albeit different style, much more affordable. So that could be great there. PSA 10's currently around $350 on eBay, give or take. And then we do have, from the same pack, we have Leafeon, which is nice. I like him chilling in the tree. Same art style, same everything. Looks great. Looks adorable. Can't go wrong with it. Eevee fans, you guys are feasting right now on these galore. Raw near mint's currently around $60 on this one. So definitely affordable, decent arts, or not decent, these are great arts, but very affordable and exclusive to the Chinese language there. So and we also will talk about the booster packs. I promise we're getting there, are the booster boxes, so you can have a chance to pull these cards. I'm gonna show you how expensive those are in a second, but we got to get through the cards. We're getting there, so we're working up to it. And I know not everyone cares about PSA 10 pricing, but a lot of people do. So, and just for reference, just so you can see, if you happen to get some of these cards and you pull them and you get a clean copy, you can kind of like roughly know what to expect. PSA 10s have shot up quite a bit on this one. In July, they were around $350, but now in August, we're seeing currently around 800. So that's what we've been seeing as far as PSA 10 sales go on eBay. So that's what you can expect there. That's a big leap from a $60 raw card to 800. So keep that in mind as well. And then the Eevee. I think the Eevee probably is the most adorable of these ones that we've seen from this gem pack. Just absolutely adorable. I love the pose of the Eevee. So you can't really go wrong there. Very affordable, $53 for an Eevee card. So that's what you're seeing for ungraded raw near mint PSA 10s in the $300 range, kind of around $370 plus or minus. Like I said, some of these sales are going to fluctuate. You'll see some more expensive, you'll see some less expensive. So do some deal hunting on eBay, throw out some offers, see what's going out on bids, stuff like that, right? You got to play the eBay game. And then from the original gem pack, we have the Fuecoco card with Roy, who he's not the main character, but he's one of the main characters with the Fuecoco, and he's got his cool old school Pokeball here. I like Fuecoco from the anime. It really he became my favorite starter by a lot. He's just derpy and silly, and he really grew on me. So this is one that I recently picked up, just in a raw copy, because look at it, it's around 20 bucks right now, give or take. So I picked up one of these. I don't have it in hand yet, but it's on the way. This is from the original Gem Pack #1. Not an expensive card, 18 bucks, 20 bucks. Pick it up. I almost picked up a PSA 10 copy, but I didn't. I held back. Currently around 150 bucks. I didn't want to spend that much on this card, albeit I do like this card a lot, and I like Fuecoco a lot. And I think this is just like a fun pose. So yeah, if you're with me and you're a Fuecoco fan, pick it up. If not, no worries. This one's probably going to be one of the most least popular from the Gem Pack. You have Quaxley and Nidothing, once again from the anime. If you don't know, you don't know. But I do like the style that they chose with like the outlines and stuff and the stars, and Nidothing's like a live stream YouTube content creator that dresses up as Nidothing with the Quaxley. I don't want to spoil too much more off of that, but more affordable than the Fuecoco, currently around 14 or 15 bucks. But another Chinese exclusive, and then PSA 10's definitely much more affordable in that $80 range ish. I know that there are definitely Quaxley fans out there, so if you're a Quaxley fan, I mean, PSA 10 of this card for 80 bucks, that seems like a pretty good deal, honestly. So just consider that if you're big into Quaxley. And then this card is one that we have talked about in the past, but we haven't really seen too many sales of this. This is an Arcanine card. This actually kind of comes from, we saw the Arcanine and Gyarados from Scarlet and Violet base, if you recall. They didn't get illustration rares or special illustration rares like this card. They got just like a full art version, but this is a special illustration rare of Arcanine. That is super cool. I really like this card a lot. See if we can make this bigger, so you guys can check out the card there. Yeah, this is a really stunning artwork of Arcanine. I love this card a lot. Sales of this one was 100 bucks. We've seen it like kind of between 80 and 100 on eBay. It's currently not listed on price charting, so I couldn't pull that up on there. It's not showing yet, but just a really cool card. I like this one a lot as well. I really wish they would have done the Gyarados SIR version of this, but maybe someday I'll finally get my more recent Gyarados SIR. Fingers crossed. But that's what we're saying as far as Chinese exclusive art. Now let's look at the booster boxes, just what you kind of can expect. So this is the 151 booster box right here. This is what it looks like. Now I do believe there's different versions of these. There's like a slim box and a bigger box. So keep that in mind. I do think that there's different versions, but these currently are around 100 bucks, and you can see here's the last solds. You can see right here in the listing, slim booster box versus there's bigger booster boxes. So keep in mind that there's different ones. I don't know what the exact difference is between the slim and the normal. I would assume it just does the pack amount. I know that some of them have like jumbo packs with more cards in them. So I don't know if that affects pull rates or anything, but you can see like just nice artwork even on the booster box with the Mew in the background. So that's what you're going to be looking to pay if you want to have a chance to pull some of these cards and get the simplified Chinese exclusives from the Chinese 151 set. That's what you're looking at. And then if you want some more affordable stuff, the Gem Pack 2 right now is currently around 50-60 bucks. This is what the box looks like. So if you want to have a chance to pull the Eevee or those other Eeveelutions, around 50-60 bucks depending on what you get. So keep in mind there. That's what you're looking at as far as at least what goes on eBay. Maybe you can find from like a different retailer or importer. You might be able to find these somewhere maybe a little bit cheaper. So maybe shop around. But this is what you're seeing as far as eBay goes. And then the last one is the original Gem Pack, which, like I said, features the Captain Pikachu, the Fuecoco, those cards. And kind of similarly priced around 50-60 bucks. So nothing too crazy. But that's what we're looking at. And, you know, for me, I have been thinking, I don't actually have any of these currently in my possession, but I have been thinking about picking up a few boxes, maybe to open, and then a few boxes maybe just to like kind of hold on to and keep sealed. Not like a ton or anything, but I do think that specifically the 151 boxes, obviously anything 151 is doing really well. But even just the gem pack and the gem pack 2, I think because there are exclusive unique arts, I think that that's a cool thing that people are going to want to chase. So if you didn't know about these cards, there you go. These are pretty much the coolest ones that we've seen so far. They'll probably continue to do more, I would expect. And it brings not only like for people wanting to play the TCG, in China or whatever, it gives the collectors that are outside of China, like us, it gives us a reason to want to purchase some of these simplified Chinese boxes and cards for the collectability aspect, because they are unique only to simplified Chinese. And like I said, we've seen that obviously happen with like Japanese exclusives. We just don't really see it happen that much on the English side. I really want to see some English exclusives just from time to time. It would be nice. I think that'd be cool if they did it even more with different languages, with like every once in a while, like one language gets something, a really unique card or whatever it may be. Maybe they'll expand that in the future, because like I said, it just helps the sales overall. Not that they need help with the sales, because everything just flies off the shelves, but it would be kind of cool, I think, if they did a little bit more of the exclusivity of the cards, because yeah, it can make it tough to get though, especially you're gonna have to buy from the secondary market like we are currently, but it is what it is. But overall, I think it's a cool thing. I like the unique arts. I definitely think it'd be more fun to pull some of these cards, but just buying them outright, most of the time is the way to go. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what the hit rates are on these. So if you guys have opened any of these, let me know what the hit rates are. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's something that will open on the channel in the future, and that would be fun. I would actually like to do that. So, anyways, that's all I have for you guys in this one. A little bit different type of video, focusing on the simplified Chinese cards. Once again, these were all cards that we've talked about when they were announced, but we haven't really checked up on them in a minute, of like how expensive they are, and then also the booster box prices. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one, and remember, it was never a phase.